Hey everybody, it's April, and today I want to talk about the good and bad of comparing yourself to others. So I'm going to get started on my forearms, and then I'll switch around a little bit, and you can start however you want, but I will switch today. So if you're starting on forearms, wrap your hands around your biceps so you know you have the right distance between your elbows. Forearms come out in front of you. You can interlace your fingers or just press your hands into the mat. Pull your shoulders down your back, then lift your upper back, lift your chest, pull in your belly, come up on your toes, shift your weight forward slightly. The timer has begun, and then you want to do all of that again. So I'm pressing into the floor again, broadening my upper back, actively pulling in my navel. So remember, you're kind of wanting to pretend like someone has punched you in the stomach. That's how much you are activating your abs, which in turn is strengthening your whole core. You know, that's that whole middle part of your body. The command center is one way I like to look at it. Press your heels back, tighten up your glutes. So everything is energized, everything is active. You've got it going on. So I wanted to talk about the dangers and the advantages of comparing yourself to someone else. So after my hip surgery, and I was doing updates about how my recovery was coming along. And I had a few people who would make comments about how, well, they had hip surgery and they weren't near as far along as I was. Oh, we're at 1 minute. I'm gonna switch to side plank on my forearm. And you know, that could be that somebody isn't at the same place I was or I am now after their hip surgery. But one of the things is we're all different. And, you know, I was in different shape than you before my hip surgery. And it's going to be, so my recovery is going to be different. 1:30, I'm switching sides. Also, you know, we have different doctors. There are different procedures for doing hip replacement. They're not all the same. And, you know, I know my doctor doesn't prescribe physical therapy, but I asked for physical therapy. And I don't know if that made the difference or not. But it doesn't help necessarily to compare yourself if it's going to make you, especially if it's going to make you feel negative about your own progress. So let's say also for planks, you might say, I'm never going to hold for 5 minutes. And as a consequence, you might not even try to hold at all because you're convinced you're never going to do, for example, what I'm doing. But that's not a reason to not do it. You should just accept that if you're trying at all, you're planking, you're holding longer than you were before you started. So it doesn't matter, we're at 2:30 by the way, it doesn't matter if you're holding for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter how long it is or comparing to me, because you're still doing better than you were before, and that's what really matters. And sometimes it's great to compare yourself to someone just as a motivation or inspiration of where you could possibly go, what you could possibly achieve, because you see this other person doing it. We're at 3 minutes. I'm going to do side plank on my hand now. So in that case, you know, it's good. It's good to see, oh my goodness, this 61-year-old woman is holding plank for 5 minutes. Maybe I could start holding for 2. And wouldn't that be awesome? It's all good as long as you're trying to improve. And if you use a comparison as a means of doing that, then it's a really good thing, you know. We're at 3:30. I'm switching sides. So it doesn't matter when you're comparing. You don't want to look at it as a negative, because again, that could keep you from trying at all. It could just make you so discouraged. Oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. But that's okay. You're still doing other things. You're doing what's right for your body. And the important thing is to keep trying. We're at 4 minutes. I'm going to finish on my hands. That's the most important part. It doesn't matter if you're doing it the same as someone else. And you know, like I've had several people send me the video lately that the women's world plank record was recently broken, not by me. The old world record was 4 hours and 20 minutes, and now it's 4 hours and 30 minutes. Does that discourage me? No, because I am never going to hold for 4 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm okay with that. I'm completely fine with my 5-minute plank. And because my big thing is, once you hold for that long, how often would you have to do that to maintain it? Would you maintain it? Would it be just a one-time thing that you worked up to, which I suppose is perfectly fine? But you can't, again, I'm not going to let that keep me from planking for 5 minutes. That's my plank. So we are at 5. Actually, I hold till 5:15 usually, so I'm going to hold a little bit longer. But again, I'm not going to compare myself to others. I'm just comparing me to me and what I was doing before and what I'm doing now. Even after I've had shoulder surgeries, not replacements, but surgeries. I've had 2 hips replaced, and I decided I was going to get back at it. That's what you need to look at, is not so much what I'm doing, but that I had the motivation to get back to doing it and to keep trying despite my surgeries and setbacks. Have a great day. Watch who you're comparing yourself to. See ya.